I am starting the recording.
Welcome.
I'm going to put folks on mute if that's okay. And just for the time being, and then, except not you, De Janeiro, so don't touch any buttons there. You're
I'm not
fine.
gonna tell-
Okay, but just to make sure. Okay, so hi, welcome to Good Shepherd Art Center, now a virtual gallery for the duration of the pandemic. And I'm McGinnis, Good Shepherd's sister and the executive director of Good Shepherd Art Center. And my guest today will be De Janeiro Jones, who is a local, many things, entrepreneur, collector, mentor to young artists, and an artist himself. Just a little bit about Good Shepherd Art Center. We're located in Ferguson and still have a dedication to Ferguson and North County. Our mission is to exhibit art and offer experiences that affirm human dignity, that lift hearts, and that link creativity with spirituality in Ferguson, in North County. So that's what we're about. Currently working on pulling together an art festival, we hope. And of course, everything these days is contingent on what's going on with the health department and everything else. It's a different way to live, but hey, life is always uncertain anyway. We just think it's certain. Most of the time, but we're living with daily uncertainty. So we're working on that. We're working on a children's art festival as a part of that. So those are projects that are going on right now. So welcome, De Janeiro, and I'm so happy you have some time to be with us today. I'm happy that we've had the privilege of showing some of your art. So your path to being an artist has not been a direct one, has it?
No, it happened, very, very indirectly. I used to own a clothing store back in 2005. I got tired of people, coming in the store and not buying anything. And so, I started being what I call a practitioner of being an artist. But I've always been a fan of the arts. Because I tell people I was a collector first before I started being an artist. Yeah. But I've always had affinity, and then I've been exposed to art at an early age. So I didn't start painting until 2005 when I used to own a clothing store. And people was like, well, man, I love the way you put together colors. And I tell them that it comes from me going to the magic show, which was the business of fashion, twice a year, picking the latest fashions to come down the pipeline. And so what I do is integrate all of that subconscious stuff that I had in me, and just got it out. And it's been a tremendous ride, and I've been very, very fortunate and very thankful for people, helping me with my artistry, And so, I've always been a guy that, had no problem with, bringing people along with me. And so, that's what I've been about, and this notion that you got to be wealthy to help people is, I don't know why people feel that, you got to be, have all this money to, to help people, you start where you're at, so.
Yeah.
All we're doing as artists, Sister Mcginnis, is documenting what's around us. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We just try to make our little small impression here on this planet, because we're only here for a little space and time, and we just do good things because it's a good thing to do. You don't do it with any ulterior motives behind it or none of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know if that answered the question.
Well, it does answer the question, but you said you were exposed to art at a young age. How so, and how young?
Yeah. Well, I was a part of a manhood and leadership development group called St. Paul Saturdays. And the executive director and founder was Dr. William Harrison. He's deceased now, but he was the dean of instruction at Forest Park Community College. Okay. And Park ended up naming an extension. I don't know what do you call it, because it's community college branch across from Vashon High School, named after him. But Dr. Harrison was also a trustee on the Art Museum board. So I had I've always had a foray into the latest art that was coming down the pipeline, So when I got of age, when I graduated and all that, I said, you know what? I know exactly what I wanted to do, continue, learning and exploring. I've always believed in diversity. I've always, believed that, you can't be a prisoner in your own neighborhood. So I was never afraid or, interact or, with other people. I'm a product of the DSEC program. Parkway West High School is where I graduated.
Okay.
And I like to tell people, they like, well, we didn't know you stayed out. No, I was bused out there. I had to be on the bus, on the corner at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And that was at the height of when the gang activity was high. People getting killed and shot, man, for, pro model coats and jackets and Jordan tennis shoes, all of those things going on. I leave the school in the dark, come home in the dark, and it was just, it was a lot of mental anguish, going to school, thinking that going to school is, in the county was better than, actually being in the city where I'm from. But that was the thing. And so, my thing now that I'm older is how can I be more inclusive, into this arts. And so people like you, that provide a platform, for such, artists like myself, what I'm saying? We're so thankful, that it exists. And, anything I can do, to help you guys and, and helping myself is also, I'm for it, I have no reserves or, no quarrels about doing it,
No, it's fantastic. You really helped us out last year, especially pulling a show together at the last minute, for which I was most grateful. And some of these folks were some of your mentees. One of your roles is as a mentor of young artists.
And I have nothing but good news every time you talk to me about it, because they are, starting with that.
Sorry. Oh, okay.
That's all right.
Okay.
All right. Starting with Danny McGinnist, who's a mentee of mine that stays out in San Francisco. He's in Oakland right now, but Danny received a full ride scholarship to San Francisco Art Institute, and Danny's doing very well. He's doing a lot of commission pieces now. He still got to finish up his schooling because San Francisco Art Institute had to shut down because they were having a funding thing. But now they're getting ready to, they're back open again. And so we hope Danny was able to complete his commission job with the Obama Foundation. And, as you, Brock Seals,
No, we're good.
As you know, Brock Seals is another mentee.
Yes.
That's doing extremely well. He just completed doing a video that's out now. And
tu pensa se la mia vita deve essere rovinata?
Okay, the five.
Keep muting people.
we got it.
Yep, we're good.
So Brock is doing well. We all just 5 other mentees of my. We completed a mural.
Okay, I don't know what's going on. Just a moment.
Jones, you look like the baby.
And well, I'm going to put everybody. I can't put everybody on mute. I'm going to make you a co-host and put everybody else on mute.
Kamina, vaka, vaka,
I don't know what this is about.
Probably like a CB.
Yeah.
We're picking up. Are we?
Yes. You're the host. Oh, not mute. No, dang. Well, we have a little. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. I have made you the host, which means I can't mute people.
Oh.
And I was trying to undo that, but.
You can't turn their volume.
Okay, got it.
No.
I'm the host now. Okay, so.
So what was I talking about? The mural. Excuse me.
Yeah, in Washington University.
So yeah, we were asked. Well, I was asked to do what I call a beautification project of this underground tunnel. It's called the South 40 Underpass. It's built back in the 60s. For for some for some strange reason, we were able to complete it in 9 days. Considering all of the stuff that was going on with COVID, and
Yeah.
we was at, because we were right at the height of when it started, and it was very challenging, Sister Glennis, to be honest with you, because we ran across people that was vandalizing the mural as we were working, but I didn't want to comment and talk about it because I didn't want it to overshadow, what we were up there doing,
Right.
It was a very challenging project because we didn't get a chance to strategize on what we were doing. And so what happened was we just worked from our hearts. When you go to the mural, you'll see a picture of John Lewis. At the time, it was the anniversary of the March on Washington, the day that we started on the mural.
Just a moment. I will.
We started on the mural the day of the day of the anniversary of the March on Washington, and John Lewis dies the next day.
Yeah.
Then as we're working, 2 days more into it, Chadwick Boseman.
Rondo, gang, Rondo.
Chadwick Boseman dies, the Black Panther. So Brock was able to be the first panel, to work on the first panel of the mural when you first come in and look at it. Chadwick. And also we had, and then Danny McGinnist painted George Polk, who was the first African-American to receive a medal for the Olympics, which was held on the campus of Washington University. So, history is my forte.
Yeah. And
I'm surrounded by so much endless creativity. They're a lot younger than me. I could be their father almost, because, I'm 46 and they all in their early 20s. So, they really not understanding, the history that I'm giving them, but I'm telling them that, if you guys do your very best on this, this is going to be a global experience. This ain't no, arts and craft thing.
Right.
You got the entire world. So your first impression is your best, So did they stand up to the call? Yes, they did. And they achieved overly, we've been getting so much praise about, man, this has never looked like this the whole time. People that stay around the university campus, the professors, they're talking about disassembling the panel and putting them around the university. That's one of the visual art professors said.
Well, now right now it's all together in one place, right?
Yeah, it's all together in one place.
If I wanted to go down to campus and see it, where would I go?
You need to go to, it's on Olympian Way and Forest Park.
Okay.
It's called South 40 Underpass.
Okay.
And it is a sight to see. We were worried about that they were going to paint over it because we heard that, the students, but they said it's going to, it's going to be up there. Because it's 22 panels.
That's a big job. That's a huge undertaking.
Yeah. So when I say we painted from sun up to sundown.
Yeah, you would need to. Yeah.
It would, and I had it documented from start to finish. I documented it from when we first started in the art supply store, picking out the supplies, all the way down to the janitors. The janitors, trying to get the defacement off the mural because they came and sabotaged what we were doing several times.
Now, right now, it's safe. It's not getting.
Well, I hope it is. I need to,
go up down there. Yeah.
Believe it or not, when we were working on it, I would go up there every night, just to see.
I believe it. Public art, that's a big challenge with it because for some folks, it's an invitation.
Yeah. And so, since then, I'm putting together a coffee table book about it. And so we're in the editing phase of it right now. So I would hope to say within the next month, I should have a finished coffee table book.
Let us know. We can always put that on our website or on Facebook to let people know about it and how to get it.
Most definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we look at some of your art?
Okay. Love to.
All right. I put it, I know we can go to the website, but what I did was put it, to a PowerPoint. It gives me more control. And I started out, now I'll come back to this in a second.
Tutti Osanna pronti, bravi, battiere spumante, torte, tutta
I'm
roba.
going to stop my share and I'm going to have our friend, whoever this is, to leave again.
Okay.
Oh, Santo Osanna, Santo, Santo Osanna. Con le mani. Sanna
Yeah, it's fun. I've never had to do this before. I feel like a bouncer.
Yeah, this is strange. I never.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But see, I didn't know this could happen with Zoom. It's kind
It
of like.
can if you give out. Usually I don't give out the link freely, and I guess it's a lesson in.
So what are the
not
people
giving out the
doing?
link freely.
So what are the people doing? He's just being difficult, or what?
I don't know, but the person's coming in under other names.
Hmm.
So I'm just watching, if there's noise, I'll come back out of the share and somebody else will be leaving shortly.
Man, this technology is something, ain't it?
This is really a new one for me. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. I'm ready. But let me go forward to, okay, so America's Folly.
Yeah.
Of course, got a lot of found objects in here.
Mhm.
Curious, first of all, just about your process in putting this together.
Mhm.
And
So,
pulling it together as an image.
When I worked on it, it's a 36 by 48.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking before we were went on Zoom about me, my estate sale journey.
Yeah.
So I attend a lot of estate sales every week. I'm very faithful and diligent with this, and I like to incorporate things that I find on my hunts into my work, and still tell a story with them.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're looking at is old school plastic building blocks that
Mhm.
children, use.
Mm-hmm.
And also you have some old currency from, I believe that particular currency is from Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
That's on there. Some old funeral parking lot tokens.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll never know what to expect in my work, because it's the landscape of my painting always changes because of the practicality that comes with looking at with having my work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always interested in texture.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
would it be like if this east meets west?
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if this oil and this water here meet? So
Mhm.
it's always a conversation with the objects and the color, and just trying to put this, I like to call this symphony together, because you need all of these things to make a beautiful image. So I like to quote African American artist Jack Whitten, and Jack Whitten says he doesn't paint paintings, he builds paintings.
Okay.
And so I really think of myself as a builder, as opposed to somebody that just paints pretty pictures. Oh my goodness, it's so vivid,
Mm-hmm.
but it's deeper, with that, because I know that I'm standing on the shoulders of people that came before me. And so I want to be a person that's known for, for challenging the canon, of art, and, showing, and the younger artists that the rule is there is no rule, and you're responsible, for putting yourself out there enough to where people should know who you are. Don't assume that they know. You should be doing something to where, you're creating a buzz yourself. Because it's up to you whether or not you have something. It's not up to somebody else's. It's not somebody else's job for you to have something. You should be wanting to be the first person to step up.
Okay.
And so with this piece here, America's Folly is dealing with Donald Trump. The gold is like the profile of him. If you can see that. And we have the blue because, he's the major puppet master. So you see the strings coming down, because he's a puppet master. So he's doing stuff in the stratosphere. So that's why, it's kind of like a sky, that's going on. And, his profile is like, coming through the sky almost, with the gold. And that's what I was feeling at that moment on that piece.
I invited our two guests to unmute in case they wanted to ask you questions. I'm going to go back into the share screen and see if I've got it. So just give that a moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I see the profile. Go on to the next. This one is the death of Kobe Bryant.
Yes, Sister
And
Glenn.
that was a great shock.
Yeah, when I first got word about what happened, man, I was like, Black Mamba, that's what he was about. Kobe was an excellent business person, very well-rounded, spoke multiple languages. And what a horrific way, to lose your life, with your daughter. And I believe the family is being sued by the coach's wife.
What?
Yeah, the coach's wife is suing the estate of Kobe Bryant because they're responsible for the coach being killed. Okay. So once this stuff get in them lawyers' hands, there's nothing you can do about it. Because they look into all of the, because they couldn't get any money off the aircraft because it's LLC. But it's because of the death happened because Kobe's word. Kobe's plane. The helicopter. So they're coming after the foundation. Is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kobe, he was, he just touched so many lives, and the helicopter crashed into a mountain, and so the green symbolizes, the prosperity that he was on because he was such a businessman, and he had that case pending with Big Pharma about them using his name, Black Mamba. So that was going on, and so a lot of people was like, is there some kind of conspiratory view with this? So all kind of questions, were going on when I was working on this. And, I tell people one of the hardest things to do in painting is practicing restraint, knowing when to say, this painting is done. And what I found out being, a seasoned artist, I ain't gonna call myself a veteran yet, but you'll find works that you have to go back and revisit.
Yes.
Even if you go back and add a different color to it, you're still changing what you said was done. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. People got to understand, artists, like I said, only record what's around them. And majority of the artists, Michelangelo, well, not Michelangelo, but Leonardo da Vinci, he had 7 or 8, sometimes 20 painters under one, you know, and then they're still talking like, I was listening that they don't know if Mona Lisa is a man or a woman. So, I mean, you know, it's so many, you know, peaks and valleys with art.
Mhm.
You know, it's what you pay attention to is, you know, what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
But I just like using a lot of green because it reminds me of prosperity. You know, green is a calming color, you know, and then it just, you know, with the magenta and the red and the gold, you know, it just like encapsulates his very spirit and the essence of Kobe, which was, you know, excellence in everything that you do. And he was always motivating people, you know, stuff.
In iconography, Byzantine iconography, green is the color assigned to the Holy Spirit, Holy Ghost.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
And prosperity is more than about money. I mean, it does, you know, it's about fertility, and it's about the bursting forth of life.
Life, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, mind, body, and spirit, man. All three
That's
of them.
right. That's right.
So this here is trying to bring awareness to the opioid crisis, Sister Glennis. And, you know, the Sackler family are a very, you know, wealthy family that, you know, that stayed in the news cycle about being complicit in, you know, being kind of like the, what's the word? The spokes family for, you know, opioids, you know. And they hold a lot of influence in art, you know, in the art world. And so a lot of people that was appointed on those boards, you know, in New York and different places, well, they were put in at the behest of, you know, the Sackler family. So I just wanted, you know, to, you know, talk about it, you know, and, you know, just trying to stay relevant, you know, I call it, you know. And so
Black
what I was,
spot's like a blind spot.
uh,
That black spot's like a blind spot.
yeah, it's just, you know, it's just a void that needs to be filled. You know, it just makes you, you know, and that's all artists is really doing is just trying to get you to slow down for a little while and just, you know, examine, investigate, you know. So I like children, you know, I want children to think about, damn, I might could be a doctor, you know. You know, somebody said, oh, your stuff is just so festive, you know. It's just, I said, well, I have a strong affinity for life. You know, I had heart surgery. You know, so
that's what is that, a year ago, year and a half? It wasn't that long ago.
Well, I had heart surgery in 2012.
Okay. So it was a little while back.
Yeah, I had 2 heart valve replacements, all getting my tooth pulled. An infection for me getting my tooth pulled went to my heart.
Yeah.
And so the blood in my heart was pumping backwards. And so I'm very, very, you know, very thankful and blessed, you know, to be here. And so art is, you know, become therapeutic for me. You know, art is therapy, art is life, you know. It's everything, you know. So you know, I'm just, you know, just been blessed, man, and just trying to be a blessing, you know. So yeah, so you know, just trying to bring attention and awareness to, you know, mental illness. You know, that's mental health. That's something that needs to be addressed. You know, because we got a lot of people that's dealing with, you know, mental anguish and stuff, and they're keeping them all doped up. You know, but nobody wants to deal with the problem. You know, they just want you to be, you know, dumb and numb to, you know, what's going on. And so, you know, in that spirit, you know, I just want to be a person that's known as, you know, somebody that thinks, you know, before he works. You know, he's not working to be working, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Landscape.
Oh yeah. So this is my interpretation, you know, of a landscape. You know, for some reason, you know, I've always thought that St. Louis would show me a hell of a waterfall here. But the closest I've got to seeing a waterfall is kind of like Jamaica's Dunn River Falls is I forget the name of the proper name of it by Forest Park, but it's by the Norman Probstein golf thing. As you go around, as you come through Forest Park off of Skinker, driving toward the Grand Basin at Forest Park. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with that.
Chicago.
That was done the year that Barack Hussein Obama won the presidency, and they had a hell of a party in Millennium Park in Chicago. And so what I was doing was just trying to capture some of the spirit and the movement that was going on with that. And so I hope I did right by that.
It was a gorgeous party to watch on TV, so I can't imagine what it was like to be in the crowd.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, they something, man. And I just picked this. I had picked this up today too, Sister Glennis. This is I don't know if you can see it, but this is this is a Barack Obama commemorative ensemble I have here. Yep.
I can see a corner of it.
Oh, you can't.
That was the trick with, lift a little higher, keep it there in that position. Okay. Wow. Did you find that at the estate sale?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good ad for estate sales. Never know what you will find there.
Never know.
Never know. Even art supplies. I mean, you will find oil paints, you will find canvases, all kinds of stuff.
I'm going to be honest with you. If it wasn't for estate sales, I don't think I could have been able to create a huge body of work. And for my stuff to look the way it looked, because I didn't have, you can't, a starving artist cannot afford gold and Liquitex
to
work with. So I can see why certain artists use, lesser brand paints, and some of them, the work is so good that, whatever paint they use is going to be good. But the ones that's using the top tier paintings, paint to use with. And there is a difference,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was from estate sales, me getting stuff and acquiring and, accumulating stuff, and having test runs and how this would interact with this. And, here we are. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm so thankful to be on this side of history. The eclipse.
Yes.
We had the solar eclipse in 2017. In an artist loft building, so we pretty much went on the rooftop to experience that. And something else. It was something to behold. It
was. It really was.
Yeah, it was something to behold, man.
We were down in Tennessee.
Okay.
Which was a good position also. I mean, in the whole swath that area, you could see it, but it was, my goodness, it's not very often in one's life that you could see this. You see it clearly.
Yeah. So yeah, that was and that took me about 7 months to do, believe it or not, because I had suffered a flood too in my studio. And the building did not want to do any kind of compensating, and still haven't. I had a flood in my studio like 2 weeks before I was about to have, a show, well, not a showing, but an open studio with Contemporary Art Museum. One of the neighbors' daughters just vandalized the whole studio, with spray paint, and just got to messing with the material and just throwing stuff and moving stuff, and, just being a kid. But the mother, they called the mother down there, and the mother was like, well, I don't think she did anything, this work looked like this, what has always been looking like this, So they've since been put out, but it's been a challenge, being a quote unquote artist.
Yeah, there's all kinds of challenges. Now, this is your homage to Basquiat.
Yes. Who is the highest paid, artist in the United States? With the piece at 100 and I think it was ended up being 110,000. I mean 110 million. I'm sorry.
Wow.
That was paid for his piece by the Japanese businessman.
Short life.
Huh?
Short life, though.
Oh, very short. Very short. He was a great guy. He just, he had people that was around him that didn't have his best interest at heart. But he came from a good soul. I would like to see, folks looking a little bit deeper into Basquiat. Considering that he had them Haitian roots. And see exactly his lineage. I think that would be interesting. His dad was an attorney and worked in the financial sector, but they've never mentioned anything about Basquiat's mother. So I think that would be the next level, for Black artists, is to be more transparent, so that the kids, oh man, they was sharing the same stuff that I'm going through now, and this is how they made it, But you got to be, you got to be built mentally for this. This thing of being an artist, because the reality about it, Sister Glennis, is that nobody doesn't really need a piece of art, but they need to go to the grocery store. So you want art, but you don't need art in your house,
Exactly.
But you need groceries.
Right.
So I tell people all the time, stop complimenting people on what they're doing and support them. How are you saying that you supporting me and you don't even own a piece of your house? What are you talking about? Calling me and asking me 1,000 questions about my business, about my art practice, it's not making you be a supporter of the arts. And I'm trying to get them to understand that this is business also. Artists can live very well, if he puts the right kind of time and effort into it. It's not going to happen overnight, but slow and steady wins the race.
Yes, it's really being able to endure in it.
That's right.
This other homage, I'm not familiar with.
Buford Delaney was one of the key one of the key Black artists I think Buford Delaney started roughly like in the 40s. But he also was the lover of James Baldwin. And they stayed over in France. And here lately, within the last year or so, James Baldwin's house was bulldozed in France, which I couldn't understand. I hear all these, top educators and all this kind of stuff, quoting James Baldwin, and y'all won't try to protect his, his home. That could have been a nice residency program could have been started at that house. It's already got a lot of research material there, but they let it go. And I think, it got torn down and they're building something on it as we speak. Oh yeah. Today is his birthday, Sister Glenn.
Did it really?
Yeah. And Sidney Poitier, man, I've always, I've always liked any Black artist that was for uplifting and holding our people at a certain, regard.
Mhm.
And Sidney Poitier, he's very unwavering.
Mhm.
He did not play a role that was demeaning.
Yes.
Yeah, he didn't do it. He didn't have to.
Mhm.
And he's uncompromising, man, with his principles.
Mhm.
And so I appreciate, Sidney Poitier, the native of Cat Island in the Bahamas, who has always, been on the forefront for Black people.
Mhm.
Yeah, even when they
Voice.
changed on it,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, festive times. Yeah, I just, thinking about before COVID, how, people were together and hanging out over on Cherokee and,
Mhm.
drinking and sharing, this thing of beer, and no more.
Well, no more now.
The
We
new
can
day
say
now.
this is the before, and we hope it will be the after.
Yeah, this is a new day.
Something to look forward to.
That's right.
This will be the celebration when we reach herd immunity.
Right. Yep.
That's always so funny. Herd immunity. Why do we call it?
Herd immunity.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
The last one I've got on here, I didn't use these in the show only because I thought I had them as works in progress. So maybe they were finished, but I wanted, since you had said to use them in the banner for the Facebook and I just wanted to ask you about these. Now, these were in the show yesterday. I
Yes.
got onto the show yesterday, and there were 4, or were there more?
4.
4. Mm-hmm. Well, tell me about these. I don't even know the titles.
Well, they're the 4 of them. They're being shown together, and they are untitled, so they have no title.
Oh, okay.
But however, they all have different character to them.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been the same. Now, the first one is dealing with you familiar with Andy Warhol,
Mm-hmm.
Rorschach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like a cacophony of different hues.
Mm-hmm.
I got periwinkle in there. I got a magenta, and some light yellows, and I was thinking about different colognes at the time.
That's fun. There's a little synesthesia there. Here's a visual of aromas.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so with the second one was dealing with like the germ of life.
Mm-hmm.
As we talk about Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a portal into something else.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna stop the screen and again ask if our guests wanted to ask any questions.
How many guests we got?
2.
Oh.
Here's Jim Bice.
Hi. So
Okay.
I apologize. I'm in a car with my darling wife of 37 years and my adult disabled son. Well, Sunday afternoon visit, and so that's why I couldn't respond earlier. He's also watching a movie that was kind of loud. But anyway, so yeah, I really enjoyed that. I think we met one time at the art gallery in Ferguson. And I guess I have a couple questions. One, what you said about thinking and art, and so it's if I heard you correctly, what you're saying is that you come to a blank canvas with an idea, or an event that you're trying to celebrate, or a topic that you're trying to discuss, and And so you start from that point, and
Yeah.
Okay, and then so how, what is the decision like about what's going to go,
But you talking about the
the
mechanics?
I'm just talking about, yeah, well, not the mechanics as much as maybe some people. I mean, my son was a writer. My daughter is a dancer. Another daughter is a photographer. So I just I'm not a visual artist myself, and I guess I'm trying to understand how the style or the elements and the choice of color and texture, if that just evolves while you are interacting with that idea or that theme, or is there a connection between the two?
Well, it's definitely a connection. You know, I can try to channel or hone in to other artists, you know, that I admire, or some. You know, I find myself, you know, looking into a Japanese artist named, you know, Shiraga. You know, and that was the Gutai movement, where, you know, he's suspending from strings, and, you know, he's barefoot and he paints with their whole body, man. You know, over in Japan, it's sick. And when you look at my work, you know, you like, damn, how does he, you know, get these colors, you know what I'm saying, to really get out, you know, because I do a lot of, you know, movement, you know, trying to get different colors to, you know, to articulate what I, you know, and reverberate what I want to put out there, you know. But I never know what a piece is going to end up being. Never. You know, and I just get to the point to where, you know, I'm done.
Right.
You know, I let me, you know.
Yeah, I love that, what you said about a painting. You know, is it ever really finished? And my daughter is a choreographer, dancer, and she was here over Christmas, and she wanted to do some work, and so I found her a place to dance. But anyway, she was telling me about her process, and she said, you know, it's never really done. It's just I run out of time. So no more tweaking, no more changing. It's time to meet with the other dancers and teach them the thing. It's like, and so it's interesting, because if she just says, I just stop. It isn't that I'm ready to stop necessarily, but and that's a fascinating idea to me, I think, you know, because and the other thing that I noticed in your, as you put the paint, the work on the screen, I zoomed in and stuff, and I just noticed so many different. I mean, sometimes it looks like fingers and brushes. Sometimes it looks like it's splatter paint. It's spray paint. It's just. I mean, that's just fascinating. You mixing all that together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all those things, man. You know, and it's history too, because like I say, the artists are just recording what's around them. Right. You know, we not creating this madness that we're going through.
That's right.
But I'm damned if we're not living in it.
Yeah.
You know, and so with living in that, you know, comes a voice.
Yeah.
And you know, and we have those of us who, you know, because it's a lonely road being an artist. You know, so those of us who, you know, deem ourselves as artists, because that's a hell of a title, you know, to bestow on, you know, saying you're an artist. Because it's going to be a lot misunderstood. You're always going to be misunderstood.
Yeah.
You know, I got people ask me, you know, why are you doing all that, man? You ain't go to school for none of it. I said, I never will forget when I first started painting, you know, oh man, you ain't fooling nobody. You ain't doing nothing but throwing paint. Anybody can do that. You know, a kid can do that. I said, you're exactly right. I said, the only thing is that you're not going to go and blink and pull up out of your pocket some money to pay for those supplies and start. See, that's the only way I beat you guys. I've started. While you talking about doing it, right. I already did it.
That's right.
So you're always going to lose with me with that, because you never started. You know, and people get mad when, you know, they can't break you into, you know, damn, you know, what is it? You know, because I'm not seeking any validation by anybody. You know, and when you you do that, man, that's when you got the most freedom. That it doesn't get any more. You don't get any more artistic freedom than that.
Right.
When you're in control of your own narrative, that's why I'm not gonna get caught up on titles of work. Because once I put it out there, I've done my job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna, go into a lip box and match with you about what should I title. I don't give a damn. Title it X, title it A,
I had to do that because I didn't have the titles of your work. And I had to look and go, well, this is this, this is a black spot, this is an orange flower. But I mean, just to be able to recognize them and identify them until you gave me the titles, I gave them my own titles. What struck me the most in that painting.
And they've been doing that in the art world for ages. They don't give a damn what the artist titled it. Because in their mind, they see something totally different. Now I might convey or tell you what I was, trying to lay down when I was working, but I can't hold you to what you see. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
And so, this thing is not that hard. It's just that people keep, make it complicated, Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of art. You write something and people, here it is in English or whatever, you hear it is and people read it and they really can tear it up in a sense of this and that. But I think with art, you say something, but people have got to look at that and interpret it in their own way. And so you can sometimes say things that might be harder than to write them. You can speak more directly in an indirect way.
Right.
Just, bringing out the emotion of something. Connected with an event. And the person, what do you see? You can't see for them. They have to see it. And they have to, it's an invitation to a conversation like we're having today. It's an invitation.
Yeah. And then, what I'm saying, your mind has to arrive at a destination before your body does.
Yeah.
You gotta wanna understand what you're doing, because that's the laziest thing in the world. Oh, I don't get it. But well, have you tried to put yourself in the artist's shoes? And I mean, you have to put something in this thing. That happened by osmosis.
You have to say, what do I feel when I look at this? Do I feel agitated? Do I feel peaceful?
Yeah.
Do I feel invited? Do I feel repelled? But what am I experiencing with this?
Yeah.
What comes up? What images flash in my own mind when I look at this abstract?
Yeah, because I've had people, see certain colors in my work, say, "Oh, damn, man, that reminds me of my grandmother's house." That's she loved that blue, and that, I want that in my house. They buy it. They ain't got nothing to do because I was listening to Miles Davis, kind of blue. They don't want to hear my commentary. They know that this reminds me of Granny. This is how I'm connecting with this work. This is how it's reverberating in my spirit. And so who am I to do that? But art provides that window. Art provides that door for all of us to come through to. And so, like I say, I'm just thankful to be on the right side of history.
Amen. We're reaching the end of our hour, and I just want to say our next show, who's on next, De Janeiro.
Yeah, my great mentee Brock Seals is up.
Yes. We're taking his shoes, the athletic shoes.
Yes.
The name of the show is going to be If the Shoe Fits.
Nice.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that will be some fun. I don't know if we're going to do a talk or not. I'm going to invite him to do a talk or a demo or something and see if that works out.
See if you get him to talk, Sister Glennis.
Are you saying that's a challenge or no? Or do you think it'd be a great reward just to hear him talk?
Well, he's not outspoken, like me, but Brock is an artist.
Brock has a work ethic that I cannot begin to express. It's his output and his consistency He is consistently out there doing, it's, you know, here's the tennis shoes, or they're not tennis shoes, they're athletic shoes, but here are these shoes that he paints and does, but that's not the only thing he does. You know,
No.
that's not the only place his work shows up.
Right.
I really am honored to be able to show, I'm honored to show your work. I'm very honored to show Brown's. I'm so grateful he said yes. Grateful you did too.
So thankful for the opportunity, man, especially in these days and times, because like I said, people don't need art, but they need groceries. So,
Well, we need art because art is hope. I mean, we still need it. I think one of the things about art is that it because it's not necessary, it is about our spirituality. We've got to take care of our animal needs of eating and being sheltered and being safe. We have to, because we won't survive physically. But we don't survive physically only for that. It is in order to reach for higher and greater things. And that's what art is. It's a higher and greater thing. It's something we do. You can't say animals don't do it because they're selling pictures in the zoo done by elephants and monkeys, but it's
Right.
still qualitatively different for us, I think,
Right.
because we can talk about we can have the conversation.
right. Yep. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming, Jim and Debbie, and thank you, De Gennaro, for taking time out of your day.
Yeah, appreciate your questions, Jim.
Yeah,
Thank
maybe
you.
talk to you soon.
Yeah. Yeah, you get a
All
chance.
right.
You gotta come downtown and check my studio out, man.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, his email's on my site, on the website.
Okay, I
You
will
know,
find it and send you an email. I would love to. I'd love to do that. I'd love to hear more about your mentoring and what that has looked like in the past. You know, so
Man,
that'd be great. I will. Thanks for sharing your work and you know the stories behind some of the pieces. Really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Thank you so much, man. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.